Now, Smooth is going to be able to do that, but the question here is this going to be an XP Arlot? But right now, they bring in the Leomord, Angela, so Homeboys, well, technically, they are 2 games ahead. They can kind of experiment around, but Leomord jungle XP Arlot, yes or nay? Oh, wait, who's
Turns
mid
out
lane?
this was a double flex pick all along.
Who's the mid lane? Angela mid lane?
Angela mid.
Is going to be Angela. We'll see at the very end here, but KGE, they look at this draft and then they realize, oh, wait a second.
Wait, this is Leomord XP, right?
No, I think it's Leomord jungle.
Tilda.
Then Arkai XP?
We can't even know for certain.
Okay,
right?
so Arkai roam, Angela mage, Arlot XP, Leomord jungle.
I think you need to stop questioning it. Just let
Okay.
it play out here. Let it play out. Because as of right now, I think that Homeboys are in a very unique position. Arlot is going to be in EXP, brother, and KGE. Now with this Edith, I don't know how to feel about this draft for either side.
How about you, Trex? In shortest answer possible, will we get a game 4?
Very possible with
To fight for their dear lives to continue their journey here, or will Homeboys crush their dreams to continue further with this interesting strat? Game 3, let's go.
Well, but I mean, they're taking a couple of pages out of Turkey's book here. I do think that the Angela probably would have been better in the support position, but hey, you know, you can only win so many things. You can only win in so many lanes, and I think the fake out on this Sakai was pretty interesting. Let's see whether or not Chibi is able to card carry, literally mount a carry on his back.
What I just kind of realized from this series is that Udil has played Loyi, Valentina, the Steel Chip Portal, and Angela. He just does not want to walk this game.
No, he does not want to walk. He even took penetration. My God. He took tenacity and some extra penetration. This guy, he does not care.
Oh, technically, he doesn't need to walk. All he just needs to do is just teleport into that
Exactly.
game. Just stays in lane, does absolutely nothing. But at the same time, when I
Winning the
say
lane.
absolutely
Wow.
nothing, he's still bullying Teto on his own. How? Like,
The penetration.
What? I mean, it's Angela. Oh,
my goodness.
Okay, they're making an attempt. Teto survives this, so he's going to be fine. But I'm not sure what he was blasting the turret for. But Sutsujin now going to be able to catch him off guard.
Get him
The other
out of
trying to
there.
get Chibi looking for a run for this ball. Udil with the stun, with a praises round, pins him apart. But the chain stuns coming from King Empire looks endless as they take first blood on Chibi.
unlucky. They got the flicker out of Deto, but at what cost? And then apparently the price was Chibi's life. At this point, Chibi, go back to farming. We don't need him right now. This next upcoming neutral objective doesn't seem very worth taking at this point of time, especially against King Empire. Looks like there are vulnerabilities across the map to be playing around.
Homeboys definitely greeded out a bit. They thought, we got Deto's flicker. Job well done. Then didn't scout out the road home and got caught out by Sun Sejin. We know that Leomord is one of those heroes that wants to be ahead early on. So already King Empire putting a stop to the Homeboys' attempts.
Well, speaking of a attempt here, KGE is in a very, very predictable spot. The spear missing the mark. Homeboys, they have to back off. Zorn, he might be caught out right here. He doesn't have his spin. He's getting chain stunned once more. No one can get him out. Phantom Steed being expended from Chibi to try and give chase. Sasa looking for the run.
He's
Asgard
going
as well.
for it.
Sasa fighting problems blazing through it. He's got the Purify, but eventually gets run down. KGE, they want to fight this 3v2. They're all pinned apart. They lose Sasa. Udil does not have mobility, but he's got very, very quick flickers. But he virtually dies to Dato. So King Empire is able to get a fair trade once more against Homeboys.
Man, Udil is so good at just faking people out with his movement. It's great to watch, but now we're seeing that KGE is making sure that, like, hey, Zor, no flicker, no escape.
Okay, heavy spin has been used, but Suzuki is still continuing with the assault here. But it seems like they might run out of speed. The Brazen Draft comes in, but not enough gray bars to take him out. So Homeboys, they lose only 2 this time, but seems like a completely different game compared to Game 1, Game 2 once more.
Homeboys, I'm not a big fan of the rundown that they're trying to do here. It almost feels like they're playing without a care. And I know they're 2 games up, but they still gotta respect their opponents just a little bit here. Unless this is all part of a greater scheme to use Chibi as bait so Nets can scale, yeah, they need to slow it down.
Well, I mean, considering the only people who have died is the mid trio, right? Nets has been free farming this entire time, not losing out to the lane against Sasa. Better yet, technically, I would say technically slightly up in gold. Even for Suppot as well, right? You would expect him to lose very early on against Smooth. He's holding out pretty well. Because of all these moves made by the mid trio, it opens up space.
Oh no, Zorn, he's getting pinned all apart. He still has the heavy speed. Finally drops it, so that's a lot of spells being used from inside King Empire. However, Dato still having the Eternal Guard. That's going to be the important one that Homeboys need to bait out before this fight. But GB now a level behind. Don't think he's going to be able to steal the turtle. Spear comes in just a couple of seconds in as well. Suppot with the final stash to make sure they clear off the minions quickly before King Empire collapses them. But Homeboys now seems to be on full defense.
2K net worth lead for King Empire just 5 minutes in. We're already seeing the impact of having X-Win come in. The connection with him and Detto does seem to be smoother this early game as compared to what we saw with Vita before. And it's allowing King Empire to really up the ante compared to what we've seen.
Yeah, it suits the playstyle a lot more, right? You're trying to attack the map, but you're also trying to pull attention away from the side lanes, right? That's why we see KGE making these movements across the river, but never taking a hardcore path through the jungle to get to where they need to be. It's all about denying rotations. It's all about starving out your opponents and bleeding them dry for their resources.
Zorn is being such a nuisance right now. Literally just standing there. He's saying, oh, I know you're there. I'm not going to let you catch me. Because they know that King Empire is going to transition to pressing on this gold lane. Now that they've already secured mid lane prio. I feel like Nets does need to be switched to maybe the top lane.
Oh, they've got the Spear to try and scout this out, but middle lane Smooth trying to bait the reaction. Suppot still debating if he should go for the big final stash play, but the rest of KGE already in position to back him up. But King Empire, they don't really want to necessarily throw this game because of the fact that Turtle is going to be up in 30 seconds, I guess.
They're still not going to contest for it. Unless they've got like a really good situation with their waves, I don't think Homeboys really wants to walk up at this point of time. They're just going to wait for their main win conditions, which is Chibi to get more items and Nets to get at least 3. Well, I mean, Nets is more likely to get it before Chibi, but at the very least, we know that Homeboys, they're playing for something.
Zorn and X-Win just communicating using Roamer language right there in the river. Homeboys definitely wants to start creating a bit more space, but now that they've already lost that early game momentum they should have had with the Leomord, you can see that they're slowing things down to make sure that Chibi, Suppot, Nets can get some items before they go for 5v5s against KGE.
Yep, the spear does give a little bit of vision control to kind of keep tabs on how many people are for King Empire, but they have made their way up top to take a tier 1, potentially a tier 2 if Homeboys can get it. But again, this is just full defense. They're finding maps and farm across the map, and now Susujin gonna force retributions on Chibi. That's gonna be a couple of pokes in, but Homeboys is slowly losing their power damage here. But Zorn with the catch, heavy spin, Dental flickers out of there as well. It's gonna be fine, but Heartsguard being expended on the Leomord for now. Big appraisal round comes in, but no, the Eternal Guard kind of whiffs the mark. Homeboys, they are able to get the safety.
This is actually quite good for the Homeboys, actually. They've set up their lanes to push. King Empire tries to force the issue, get some kills so that they can get some structures. But Homeboys just disengages. They realize that, okay, we need to play our boundaries a bit smarter here. And we may be seeing a similar situation where they're just going to play it safe and look for that tempo break window.
I think that at this point, KGE is giving too much respect to the Homeboys, right? A lot of their moves are preemptive, and most of the time their reads are correct, right? They can literally see the side laners making their way down to the engagement through the river. And I think knowing that type of information is really important for the side of KGE because that tells you when to disengage. For now, I'm expecting that KGE needs to invade enemy jungle. Like, Chibi should not be going even against Sutsujin at this stage of the game.
Especially after the number of times he ended up dying in the early game. I think we're seeing a similar issue, right? King Empire playing a little bit too textbook. Yes, they have nearly a 5k net worth lead, but we've already seen how quickly that can turn around. At the very least this game, they do have Sasa on the Claude, so they're not going to be too weak in terms of late game scaling, but yeah, I think they should be pressing the issue a little bit more.
Yeah, speaking of pressing issues here, they are going to try to make a tempo on Sasa. So the Spear connects, Sasa might be in trouble. Nice sidestep with the BMI, but Sasa, he's going to get caught out. He needs to get out to safety. Eternal Guards connects on G, but Sasa will fall. GP dropping down half HP. KGE, they're trying to salvage the fight, but it's too late. They lose another. They're all so low. Smooth is trying to trade off someone. He gets Support instead, as well as Zorn, but ideally, losing Sasa, not looking too good. However, Udil, oh no, he's in trouble. Smooth is going to try and mow him down. He's got no mobility, but the flicker comes in. Susujin, he's going to look for the flicks here. Udil, he's got moves, but you can't outrun them all.
Alright, I mean, that is a window that Homeboys were looking for. It looked like it might be the tempo break, but they still ended up losing more because King Empire were able to chase them down. Homeboys have to realize that a lot of their damage is kind of burst-based, so they can't stay and take these fights for too long.
I think Homeboys, they understand how they want to like push and pull in this type of composition, but unfortunately, there's not much of an escape mechanic other than Zorn. If they're using the heavy spin or even the final slash as a proactive measure, that means they have less opportunities to get away. Trading 50-50 against King Empire, trading equally is actually very profitable for Homeboys because that means they're really dragging out this lead through the dirt.
Well, speaking of leads here, first Lord coming in. They have to win this fight. King Empire, they may have salvaged the situation, but as of yet, they cannot afford to lose Sasa. Zorn looking for the flank, but that's he showed himself up top. KGE, they may look to try and rush this here. Zorn getting wrapped around Support as well. Win still waiting. They see Chibi. He's used the Phantom Steed. That's huge. They have to zone him off. They saw him as well. Sasa and Smooth already making forward as well. They're going to try to force him down, but Zorn, he's taking too much damage, just slowly being picked apart. No way Homeboys can defend this. They've got Nest, he's got the Hard God as well. He's going to try and man-fight this. They secured the Lord for themselves for Susujin, but now here comes the collapse. BMI comes in, but Sasa survived, but the sidestep from them, he still survives though. He will fall, but they're struggling. KGE, they're getting picked apart. This Leopard is doing a good job. Chibi, he's able to find one. Udil now looking to finish off Smooth. He mows him down. Udil gets the kill. Now it comes down towards a battle between mages. Udil versus Dato. That seems like they will back off, but the stalls are so good. And KGE, they get the Lord, and now Sasa steals the purple buff. Takes a lot of damage on towards the tier 2, but the disengage, like, that shouldn't be a 50-50 fight at all. What do you guys think?
It absolutely should not be a 50-50 fight. King Empire had control over the Lord Pit. They had already taken out Zorn earlier on. The fact that Homeboy still trades 3v3 after all of that shows that they are starting to regain that momentum.
Nets is in a very good position right now. He's probably already completed his 3 items, which is why he was pretty confident in maybe outplaying 5 there, even with a hard guard. That could have been a very big super play coming in from Nets, but now with the Winds of Nature, it's going to help secure even more. So now it boils down to who can get the initial chunk first. Can we find an incredible engage where we see multiple people get either swept up by the final slash or 2 get pinned?
Oh, final slash on Sasa. Gonna be able to get out there, but the Lord... Oh, okay. They don't. They clear up the Lord relatively quickly as well, but it is the first Lord, but surprise enough, King Empire, they're able to drag into the late game, but Homeboys, it feels like they've still got a lot of steam and damage here, despite, you know, not having a lot of magic damage, besides coming from the Angela.
I mean, they scale. They scale very, very well here. As much as we like to believe that Leomord has a certain cap, honestly, as long as you're low, it really doesn't matter here. Some of the strongest heroes go down to Leomord pretty quick. The real question really boils down to whether Smooth has his vengeance during some of these fights.
But Steel Play comes in. They do find Nets, and here comes the heavy spin to try to save his life. Hard guard looking good, but no, Nets will fall, and KGE will collapse on the rest of Homeboys. They are looking to get a little bit more. Here comes Udil. Can he escape? No, he cannot. But they're tanking tier 3s a little bit too much because Chibi in the back lines. He's managed to find a double for himself. They're trying to drag them long enough here. Chibi gets into safety. He's going to try and find more. Susujin, he's behind enemy turrets here. He needs to get out. Okay, he's fine. He's mocking them. But Sasa still surviving means he can still poke afar. But again, with this assault and defense coming from Homeboys, the inhibitors still stand for Homeboys.
This is perfect. This is perfect for the Homeboys, right? It denies King Empire a checkmate angle. Even if you get the Lord, they won't be able to develop it into a 10k lead that's actually relevant in the game. King Empire are about to hit 42, so they should technically be able to get this Luminous Lord. But at the same time, there's a very big risk that Homeboys makes the super play once again.
I have to say though, X-Win is a breath of fresh air for King Empire. You would not see Vita making plays like that, catching out nets, and this would be a different story. So King Empire still maintaining a lead somewhat, but this Lord gonna be important.
Oh, the spear comes in, Dato. He's going to be focused down as well. Nets, he does have the protection of Haas Guard, but it's not good enough. Sasa takes him out right from the get-go. Sun Sujin secures the Lord. Double kill for King Empire. And Homeboys now, they're crumbling. They've lost 3. Smooth is going to run down Zorn as well. 4 down, and King Empire, 5 men alive. And the Empire strikes back, and they will take this into game number 4. As Homeboys will drop this game. King Empire is not out of it yet.
GG, well played. These 50-50 trades ended up hurting them at the very end as King Empire finally find the fight that breaks open the base.
This is what we wanted to see from King